Hello and welcome to the Galactic Mayan Astrology Report for the 25th of October 2019. So as you can see, I am using different equipment and it's been quite a process of setting it up to go, and it's been quite a process of feeling comfortable sitting in front of a big scary camera. But I know that it's something that I really need to do in order to step into offering the best of myself that I can offer. So yeah, give me a little bit of space to have my teething issues with it, because it is quite a different experience filming videos like this. So as I say, this is the Galactic Mayan Astrology Report, and the Wavespell that we are moving into that begins on the 25th of October is the energy of Red Serpent. So Red Serpent Energy and the Red Serpent Wavespell is one of two of the most potent wave spells of the entire 9-month process. And the reason that it is such a potent wave spell is because it has loads of portal days within it. Now, I am going to be filming another video about portal days and the amazingness that is a portal day. So I will leave a link to that on this video so that you can drop into a deeper understanding of why portal days are so potent and why therefore having lots of them back to back makes it a really huge transformation process. So the energy of Red Serpent is very much about shedding and transformation. It's all about us stepping into authenticity. And essentially, when we're working with the energy of Red Serpent, we are dropping into a deeper space within ourselves where we are in greater alignment with what's going on inside us to what's going on outside of us. So it can be quite an interesting process when we start to unravel who we're not, because we go through all of these different layers of, well, that's not authentic, that's not authentic, that's not authentic, and we go and we see like, oh my goodness, like the majority of my life is built upon a personality and a way of being that isn't actually me. It's as a result of all of my different conditioned behaviours and my response to traumatic situations that I've experienced throughout my life. So this Red Serpent process can sometimes be quite a challenging process because it really rocks the foundations of who we are, and we then have the opportunity to step into a new version of ourselves that's much closer to the authentic space that we are in within ourselves. But as we are changing and ever updating, especially if we are in a space within our lives of doing personal development, whatever that means to you, it means that what once fit within our reality no longer fits within our reality. So relationships change, ways of making money change, the way that we interact with the world, our energy levels, our interests, everything shifts. And unless we are in relationship with a way of living that permits that fluidity and that movement, or if we are in relationships that allow us to be constantly updating and changing, it can be quite a difficult thing to experience because we meet resistance. The things that we once vibed with, we don't vibe with anymore. The people that we once vibed with, we don't vibe with anymore. And there's an ending that has to happen. And sometimes it can be really difficult for this ending because it's not, especially within relationships, it's not really one thing that you can put your finger on. It's that you're not doing that part of inauthenticity within yourself anymore that means that that relationship as it was doesn't match anymore. Or the same with the work. You know, if we really get that burning desire to be doing what we love to do, and what feels super aligned for us and what we are called to do, the other bits of work that we've been doing or the job that we've been doing just doesn't match anymore. And oftentimes, you know, when we're stepping into a more authentic place within ourselves, there is going to be a bit of a backlash because we have to face the consequences of the things that were created from an inauthentic space within us, because they have to shift and change. And that's really what, you know, this Red Serpent energy is all about. It's about the snake. So the snake is the shedding of skins. And every time that I talk about Red Serpent energy, I talk about, you know, that snakes also shed the skin from the eyes. so they go blind for a number of days during the process of shedding skin. And that might be something that happens to us, when we're going through this journey of getting closer and closer to our authentic selves. As I say, we may have shed so many layers of who we're not and be so well aware of who we're not that it leaves us in this void space of like, who am I? But from that space of void, from that space of not knowing who we are, really what is birthed from there is the truest of the true. That will probably change as we continue to evolve and keep working on ourselves, but being in that blind spot, being in that space within ourselves where we can't see and we don't know, we're really then able to be a greater version and a more authentic version of ourselves as we step out of that. So it's something that I feel to share as well, within all of the Wavespell processes, and obviously the reports that I share are about, the weather forecast of astrology, from the Galactic Mayan calendar that we're going to be working with for the coming 13 days. It's really about us stepping into the energy, as opposed to thinking that something's going to happen to us. It's about us stepping into an alignment with the energy, and then from there allowing the process to take place. So it's this idea of the Trinity. We've got ourselves, we've got the energy that's beaming down, but it's then meeting consciously, using our consciousness to meet that energy, which is where the magic and the alchemy happens. Because, the red serpent energy of transformation and shedding is going to give us lots of opportunities within this wave spell to drop into a deeper space within ourselves and to really see, that's not me being authentic. That's not me being authentic. That's not me being authentic. Now, one, we have to have the awareness to hold that, to be able to recognise that I'm not being authentic there in order to sort of work with the energy. But then to go into the portal of what that means is to take that down to the beliefs within us that mean that we are responding to the situation in that way. So when we clock, that's the first step, to clock where we're not being authentic. Then we have to do the work, we have to go into ourselves to figure out, why am I not being authentic there? What is it from the past that's created this limitation around my feelings and my behaviour, which means that I'm acting as opposed to authentically being? And then from there, that is where the potency and the magic of the wave spells comes to life. So it's really, as I say, about working with the wave spells and the energy, and to be really consciously getting into this process within Red Serpent is a fantastic time to do so because it's so potent. Now the energy is happening to everybody, but it's about, as I say, the conscious awareness to be able to clock what's happening, to use the map that we're given to then basically be able to smash the level, if you were to think about it in like computer game terms, smash the level and reap the rewards at the end of it. So again, within this red serpent energy, there is an energy, the snake, the serpent is like down on the earth, it's close to the ground, and it's really about connecting in with our roots. Now it's also no coincidence that we've got the energy of the serpent in the historical Abrahamic story, of Adam and Eve. So it's really, during the wave spells and during the processes, you can do your own research and discover things about the different archetypes that we're working with. So for instance, at the moment we're working with the serpent. So what was the serpent representing within this story of Adam and Eve? What was that all about? Because that's going to be a thread of our experience. It was all about being able to, they ate from the tree of knowledge, they were tempted to have free will, essentially. And what has that free will done? It's meant that, we've kind of let go in some ways of allowing our authentic self to come out naturally. We've created loads of different layers on top of it as trauma responses, which means that we're not coming from an authentic space within ourselves. But this is where the beauty and the magic of what that story and that archetypal story permit, as is everything with shadow work. It means that when we get back into alignment with being our authentic selves, the feeling of that, because we've not had it, is immense. So with everything, the lack of authenticity that's apparent in every element of life for ourselves, but also on a collective level, when we come back into balance, the space, the honour and the appreciation that we are going to have for that, and the way that we're going to fiercely protect that and commit to living in alignment with that always, will come as a result of us experiencing what it's like to not have that. So this Serpent Energy, this Wavespell, is super potent and super exciting, and there's portals at every turn. You know, there's so much that we can gain and gather, and it's something that, you know, we have to work consciously with in order to reap the rewards of, but we can totally do that. So I'm also, on the first day of this Wavespell, launching a 13-day online course which is about healing from abortion, because I feel that, you know, because this energy is so potent for transformation and skin shedding, and because the experience of abortion is super traumatic in many different ways, to be working alongside this energy whilst working with this topic is a really perfect timing and alignment. So there's that if you want some more information about, you can have a look at my website. Also, the other thing to bear in mind too is that I do have an online newsletter, and within that I give out each Wavespell a free meditation and also a special offer on readings. So if you would like to receive that into your inbox every Wavespell, you can also sign up to my newsletter on my website. I hope that you have a wonderful Wavespell, and don't worry about it, just get prepared for the potential. The one last thing that I'd like to leave you with that is the potential for this Wavespell is to really see who we are authentically. We get to really witness the power that each individual person on this planet, including ourselves, has when we are in alignment with our authentic selves. We are all masters, and when we clear the conditioning, when we go through the process of clearing the conditioning, because it never ends, we really come into that power to be the creative force, that universal life force energy of Godness that we are. So you really get to see what is your mastery. What is the thing that you individually bring to this planet that wouldn't be there if you weren't here? You get to really taste that within this Wavespell. And then we've got to do all the different shedding processes to try and get ourselves into a space where we let more and more of that out. So good luck with that one, and I hope that you have a wonderful Wavespell, and I will see you next time. Take care, beautiful people.